Welcome back to Sweet Science Boxing and MMA here in Hawthorne, California. As always, I'm Chris, your boxing enthusiast, and with me today, again, for a second week in a row, Anthony Stack-Saldana, lead writer for Supreme Boxing. Welcome back.
Thank you for having me back, Chris.
Of course. And to my right, again from Inside the Ropes, Sun Hakim. Welcome back.
What's going on?
And our special guest today on the far left, you're the special guest, you know, it works out.
I'll take it.
Brittany Goossen Brown, the vice president of TGB Promotions.
Yay.
Welcome to Beat the Count.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for being here today.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, I'm excited too. I'm sure you guys are also.
Oh, yeah.
I'm excited about you too. Don't worry, Stacks. It's cool. I'm excited for you too. Just not as much, if I'm being honest.
No, right? Exactly. Exactly.
Oh, man. Thanks, everyone, for coming out today. And
First show of the new year.
First show in the new year.
Happy New Year, everybody out there
Happy
tuning
New
in.
Year. Yeah, that's right. Happy New Year to everybody. I would have forgot that part.
Yeah. What is it, episode 43?
Episode 43. I know. I'm going to have to do something special for episode 50. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking I'll do some kind of
Tequila shots.
Tequila shot? That's not special.
Right? No,
We can do that now. We got the tequila up here. We can break it out whenever you're ready. Whenever you're ready, we can break it out.
See if I got an awkward question.
Yeah,
Take a
I know.
shot.
Oh, yeah. The beat the count
We'd be taking
game.
a lot of shots. Yeah,
Yeah,
we'd be taking a lot of shots.
I believe that.
So, with boxing at kind of a slowdown right now because of the holidays, we're getting ready to go into some big matches starting this coming weekend.
That's right.
And it's promoted by TGB,
TGB.
which Brittany's the vice president of.
That's right. So you probably have some knowledge about those.
I do.
So
that's the Caleb Plant Jose Uzcategui fight.
Oh, she got his name right too. Stacks has been saying it wrong for like 5 episodes.
How do you
now.
say it?
right? I say Uzcategui.
Uzcategui.
I mean,
I think it's
He gets this all wrong.
Uzcategui, if I'm
I think you're right.
yeah.
Right?
I think he sent me a bunch of him recording saying it, so I'll play it for you
Yeah.
later at some point.
Nice.
Pleasant dude. I met him actually at Boxing Expo 2018. Remember, he signed a Beat the Count shirt for me.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's very good. That shirt is somewhere. I'm gonna do. I should do a giveaway with that shirt. What was I doing?
I
What
don't
was I
know.
doing?
Should
Where's that shirt?
do a giveaway.
I don't know. I think it's missing.
And you know who's coming back on that card?
Who's coming back?
Guillermo Rigondeaux.
That's
That's
right.
Really?
right.
Oh,
I
wow.
did see that Rigondeaux made allegiance with PBC here. That sounded wrong. No,
Okay.
like he's part of PBC's stable now, I should say.
Yeah.
Yes.
That'll be his debut with us.
Does he have an opponent?
Giovanni Delgado.
Okay. Good for him.
Giovanni Delgado. So, yeah, it looks like it's going to turn out to be a pretty good card. It's going to be here in Los Angeles.
Microsoft Theater. I love the venue, actually. I've been there for a few fights.
So what kind
Not a
of...
bad seat in the house. There
No, I
either.
agree.
Exactly. And you also have Brandon Figueroa going up against Moses Flores on that card. Brandon Figueroa, up-and-comer, a featherweight, undefeated.
Also, El Bialy will be on that card.
Ooh, yeah, I like
really,
him.
I really like him.
I know, yeah.
And that will be televised on Fox? FS1?
FS1.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, it'll be the first of the new Fox FS1 deal, so it'll be interesting to see the production changes on it too.
Sure.
So you guys got a pretty stacked month coming up as far as fights go.
crazy.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, you have this card coming up, the Caleb Plant card. You have the Manny Pacquiao, Adrien Broner card, in a couple weeks.
He says Broner wrong, too.
Yeah, it was like
Broner, is it Broner or is it Bronner?
it's
Bro-
definitely Broner.
Broner, okay. Let's say Adrien Broner then, okay.
Oh,
I
man.
knew what you meant.
Man,
AB.
AB.
He just,
English is
he's
my
just
second
upset with me
language.
because I let him do that.
English is your second language. It's a convenient excuse.
Yeah, huh?
But Adrien Broner, Manny Pacquiao, yes, in Las Vegas.
Exactly.
That one's at Grand Garden Arena, I think.
That is.
The MGM. Yeah.
GM.
You have Javontra Davis.
That's February.
That one's
We're
in
skipping
February.
one. We're skipping
Yeah,
Jose
you skip Josesito Lopez and Kieth
Josesito
Thurman.
Lopez and
Keith
Keith Thurman.
Yeah.
Barclays
New York.
Center.
The return of Kieth Thurman. Keith Thurman's been out of action for quite some time. And that one's in Brooklyn. So are you going to each of those? You'll be.
I will be at every single one of those.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, and they're all promoted by, obviously, TGB.
Yes.
In collaboration with PBC on either FS1, Fox.
Well,
One's a
Adrian
pay-per-view.
Showtime pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Adrian
Yeah.
Manny. And
Yep.
that's with Mayweather Promotions and About Billions Promotions.
About Billions per
About
month.
Oh, I
Billions.
thought it was Adrien Broner Promotions.
No, it's
No,
About
about
Billions.
That's
Billions.
the AB is about billions.
No, he'll get there. I
Well,
think
there's a
he'll get
lot
there.
of things at AB. Adrien Broner, About Billions.
I met Adrien Broner once too. in the restroom. It was.
In the restroom.
I did.
Wow.
I did. I think I've told this story on the show before, but he was very kind. We were using the stall.
Adrien Broner was very kind in the bathroom.
He was. Well, considering the way I embarrassed myself in front of him, this was some years
Oh.
ago. We were at MGM, and we were using the restroom. It was after a Floyd Mayweather fight, and he was in there, and I went to shake his hand, but I hadn't washed my hands yet, and he observed that.
Oh, he would. That sounds about right.
But he did offer the condolence, the fist bump. He
He
gave me
is
the
a
fist
man
bump.
of cleanliness.
I can see that.
You got to pull out the Don King line, though.
What's up, Steven? Steven said that he always. So you feel better, Stacks. Steven said he always calls him Mickey instead of Mikey Garcia. So
Mickey instead of
Mickey,
Mikey.
Mickey
A lot
Garcia.
of people do that
I know.
online. I see it written that way as well.
You see it written as
Yeah,
Mickey
I know.
also?
All the time.
Oh, man. So, yeah, a lot of shows coming up. But before we get to those, I would actually like to talk about, you have a really rich family legacy. I'm sure that all of the people who are watching the program right now are familiar with the name Goossen, which is not a coincidence, I imagine. So you are related, of course, to Dan Goossen, Joe Goossen.
I am. Usually I say don't hold that against me. But no, that's my family. I grew up in boxing. I think everyone knows 10 Goose boxing
Of
gym
course,
was 10
yeah.
Goose because there's 10 Goossens originally.
Yeah.
So
There's 8 boys and 2
8
girls?
boys and 2 girls.
Yeah.
So when they started the boxing, all the boys were involved, and they went with 10 Goose.
Yeah. And they were all involved in boxing.
They
all the
were. It
boys.
was the original gym was in my grandparents' backyard.
Oh, wow. Because you have obviously some high-skill athletes in your family. Your
Yeah.
uncle Greg was in the MLB,
He
right?
was.
So he played Major League Baseball,
And he was a cut man too.
and he was a cut man. Exactly.
Yep.
Okay. And then Joe, of course, is still active as a trainer today. He trains Amir Khan.
And newly hired Fox commentator.
Okay. And
so
a newly,
if you missed his debut.
I missed that one.
Yeah.
Which one? What was
December
his debut?
22nd, Barclays Center.
Okay. I think I missed that one.
Which
Yeah.
is he used to do all the commentating for TKO. Do you guys you familiar with that pay-per-view
Yeah.
before?
Oh, yeah. Way
Yeah,
back.
way back. So
in
he was
day,
the-
yeah.
Yeah, it's just like old school seeing him back on there.
Yeah, I remember watching her uncle in the corner of
Corrales.
Chico Corrales. You knew what I was
His
going to
I
famous
knew
say.
you were
line.
gonna say Corrales. Yeah.
Wow.
It's got to be. It is one of the most famous corner moments.
And
I
the
would
most
say in
famous
boxing.
corner shirt, I would say.
Yeah.
Right.
It was a
He
very
was looking kind of fly that night,
Dapper.
right?
Yeah.
I like to call it dapper.
a lot of the comments actually when he hosted on December 22nd was that they missed a chance to give him a denim on denim tuxedo
Yeah.
or a bright floral shirt. He didn't do it.
Oh man.
You should do it every
He
time.
should. I think
right?
so too.
What's up, guys? So Steven,
He's still pretty cool.
Palmariso all joined us. Thanks for joining us, guys. We're here with Brittany Goossen Brown, who's talking about her rich family history, and of course, we didn't even get to the legendary matchmaker,
Oh yeah, my dad.
your dad. Yeah.
My dad. He's been doing this forever too. He married into the wrong family, huh? I know. I'm always like, couldn't I have been a Hilton?
So is this what you wanted to do, or were you just kind of forced into the
I wasn't
family business?
I mean, I always worked there on and off in between, summer and between classes and stuff in college, and but it was never anything that I thought I would pursue fully. When my Uncle Dan passed away, it was kind of like my dad was there in this company, and we just started this whole new slew of things. So I say I got bamboozled into it, but a little bit I did. I was told I was just going to help out on a show-to-show basis,
Oh,
and somehow
okay.
here I am 3 years later.
Were you a boxing fan growing up?
I mean, yes, but who knows if that was just because I was around it and I knew it,
Yeah.
or if I don't know that I willingly, had I not ever
willingly.
known boxing, just become a fan. So yeah, probably by force.
And I saw that your dad in 2016 was inducted into the California Boxing Hall of Fame,
And I
and you did the
accepted
acceptance speech,
I
right?
did. He had the flu.
Last minute notice.
Yeah, he had the flu, but he told me, he was like, I'll be fine. And then that morning he called me, and I'm not gonna lie, I had a very rough night the night before out with my friends, and he called me. He was like, I'm not gonna make it. Like, you have to accept the award for me. I was a little paranoid,
Yeah.
but
So for
I made it all about me.
I was gonna say, for those of you who don't know, the California Boxing Hall of Fame, they do it out of Sportsman Lodge here. It's a local place, and it starts at like 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
So like when you get called in the morning to do it, it's not like I've been to 2 or 3 of the California Boxing Hall of Fame. I was not there in 2016, but actually my mentor, my uncle Jim Fitzgerald, is the one who does the MCs for the California Boxing Hall of Fame. So they start pretty early.
It was really early. It was a really early day.
So when did you write that speech?
Actually with Lisa Milner at the table on my phone right before I went up. But I knew I was just going to make it about me anyway, because he wasn't there and he couldn't
So
stop
you
me.
could do it. Yeah, you could do whatever you want.
Wait, so what was the gist of the speech?
It was comedy.
I pretty much said that, there's so many people who'd want to thank, but the number one would be me.
Of course.
And I think that's probably where I gave myself the vice president title. I gave myself a promotion
There you
in
go.
the speech. Yeah.
There
Should have
you
given
go.
myself a raise.
And it stuck. Yeah, I know, right? That was
Missed
a
an
good idea.
opportunity.
Yeah, and you did from the venue. I saw you did a interview with Ellie Seckbach, ES Boxing News, where you had said that had your Uncle Dan been around, you suspect he would have, and I'm paraphrasing, of course, that he would have said he's glad that you got into the business.
You know what? Right before he passed away, he actually had time to talk to all of us one-on-one, and he told me like that was where I should be. And at the time, I was like doing very well in my cosmetic line, and that was crazy, but it always runs through my head. So yes, I stand by that.
Okay, that's excellent. I'm sure, and you're doing quite well. Look at the fight list that we just talked about. You guys are promoting some very big fights.
Yeah, they just had the Fury Wilder card.
Yeah, of course.
At Staples Center.
I was there for that.
One of the biggest live
Wasn't
gates ever. And to have Wilder, who's just selling out, Alabama, come to Los Angeles, have Fury come across the pond, and have that type of crowd, to have that type of fight here in Los Angeles, it's really putting the heavyweight division back on the map, especially because it seems like for the last few years, it's been about the UK.
Yeah.
Everything was happening in Europe. You had the Klitschko's, you had the emergence of Anthony Joshua, you had Fury beating Klitschko. So you had a lot of the focus on the heavyweight division in the UK. You had some U.S. fighters, you had Charles Martin, you have Wilder, you have Brazil, you have Gerald Washington, most of them who fight under the PBC, under PBC. But to have that card over here, I mean, it was great for boxing, great for the heavyweight division.
At the beginning of that promotion is when I got sick and was admitted to the hospital. So I was in the ICU, I had emergency surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I was so upset that I was missing the press tour. I was scheduling flights from my phone in the hospital bed.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was such a surreal moment to stand up on the ring and look around at the crowd, and just it was crazy in there. It was crazy.
See, that's a good point. I've had the distinct pleasure of getting to cover a number of fights in the area, right? But there's a certain responsibility you take in when you're going into press row and doing things like that. It's different than experiencing the fight as a fan. And I'm wondering, do you actually get to enjoy any of those? Like I know that you're going to be there for each of those fights, and that sounds cool, but I imagine that you're a busy bee as you go through that.
I can't even remember the last time I watched a fight in its entirety. Like I always get pulled away at some point.
The last 3 years, I've sat at media row.
Exactly.
I don't think I've gone to a fight, and actually watched the fight. And
As a fan.
And some of the cards, I see Brittany there, and I see Lisa there, and I see some of the people working for TGB, and they're going 100 miles an hour. They're everywhere.
Yeah.
And there I am. Can you make sure that I get quotes on my email, please?
Yeah.
Just the little things when they got 1,000,001 things going on.
Stacks doesn't care. He disregards all the rules anyways, like drinking and doing all that.
No,
I know.
no.
Not in here.
I'm just messing around.
Dude, don't even go there.
Only at
Banned
Oscar
for life.
shows. I
Banned
drink
for life.
sometimes,
Yeah, no.
I'm just messing around.
Yeah, no, we have, for those that don't know, when you go in as media,
That's just
there are some
mandatory.
strict rules that we have to abide by. We don't take selfies.
No
we don't ask for
selfies,
autographs. We don't drink.
That's right.
We go to work, and it's
No cheering, right?
Yeah,
No cheering. Yeah, you're
exactly.
not allowed to cheer. Not allowed to drink.
Oh
Yep.
man,
None of that stuff.
I've been in some press rooms after the fight where you got just the family members just cheering on and boo this and boo that. I think the last one that got pretty wild was the Danny Garcia Guerrero fight.
Okay.
And Danny Garcia just had a ton of family members in there and friends in there, and every time Guerrero would say something, they just boo and yell at him, and it gets awkward sometimes when
in the press.
Yeah, afterwards at the post press conference.
Were you
Just
at
wait for the
post-fight?
Pacquiao
The post fight, yeah.
Post fight, were you at the post fight after Deontay and Tyson?
No, I wasn't.
Tyson led everyone in a sing along.
Yeah.
It was. Yeah, it was actually it was a fun moment.
He's
but
very talented.
I've always wanted to be
actually.
part of a sing along.
Do you remember when
He
was
beat
it Cunningham
Klitschko?
when he beat Cunningham and then said that he also aspired to be a singer, and he took the mic from in the post fight and started doing like a solo.
Oh, he serenaded his wife after he
That
beat
was
Klitschko.
so awesome.
Well,
This
yeah.
guy's something else, man.
See, maybe we can get him, or you can get him to sing his own national anthem before the fight.
Yeah, I don't.
How can he hold the mic though? I guess you have
No,
to
you
use the stand.
just get some dude to
Just
like
get-
hold
just-
it,
just
right?
a
And
guy
some dude
hold
to
it.
wave the flag.
We'll just have Buffer stand up there.
Tyson might be game for that.
Oh
I
man.
felt like I was in Almost Famous. I've always wanted to be in a sing along.
Have you gotten to witness fights in other countries as well?
I mean, not yet, not in this role.
Yeah.
But as like a fan.
As a
yes.
fan, you have gone to other
Yeah.
countries to see fights?
Yeah, but when I was like very little, I was.
Well, you said your first boxing match was
I believe I was 2 months old.
2 months
I
old.
always said 2 weeks, but I looked at the picture the other day and I was like, no, I was definitely like 2 months old. Yeah.
2 months old.
At the
Do you remember who
Reseda
it was?
Country
No, I'm
Club.
just kidding. I'm
No.
just messing.
No, it was at the country club. We used to do fights there all the time, so I'd never remember who. It was.
So talking
But,
about
like in a carrier.
Yeah, exactly.
other countries. So I hear there's a new deal with ITV
Yes.
that's just got signed.
It was just a press conference the other day.
Yeah. So is it the PBC and you guys that are going to be working with ITV? Are you going to be
I'm
taking
actually
fighters?
not really sure.
How that's gonna
Yeah.
that's gonna work? So basically, with
I've been
ITV,
very focused on January events.
Oh.
I can see that.
solely.
Yeah.
yeah, I bet. Yeah. ITV basically a station across the pond.
Yeah.
So something like a Sky Sports type thing. It's gonna start broadcasting.
PBC events.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
They made contract with PBC, but there is a distinction between, for instance, TGB has done fights not in collaboration with PBC before. You guys have promoted events outside of that collaboration, right?
Well, throughout the family.
Exactly.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
We're
And
Goossen Promotions for a long time and X-Goose Sports.
exactly.
Yeah.
And I think we previously we talked a little bit about what your role is as a promoter compared to someone like PBC, and we've heard the term, straw promoter and thing like that thrown around before, but you actually do quite a bit. Can you elaborate a little bit on what your role is so that people understand that there is no
why
such
I'm running around all the time.
there's not a straw promoter in this
Yes,
endeavor?
So I mean, we do all the transportation, the logistics, the hotel, the travel, the medicals. I mean, every little the fighter medical insurance, the venue contracts, the venue insurance, the tickets. That I'm from top to bottom. I mean, ordering the ring, I do that. I decide the ring canvas, the dressings. I mean, everything. So it's like I never understood that, but.
Does it? I was gonna say then. Does it bother you that people would use the term straw promoter or something like that?
People
to
say a lot of really mean things, so I just.
That's true. Like that one guy who left the comment on the last video.
right.
And it's just people. I even read things that people say about like the fighters when I know it's not true, and I guess you can't argue with everyone out there. So
Yeah, of
I
course
know
not.
they know.
Why take the time anyway?
Right.
Yeah.
You have the podcasts. You have the viewers that come on the podcast. I run a lot of social media. I run Facebook. I run Instagram for Supreme Boxing. We run a lot of social media. One thing that we see in social media by these fly-by-night so-called media companies, right, is that they put stuff up there to get hits. Especially like with YouTube. Once you get so many viewers, you get monetized. You get so much money per view. So a lot of this stuff is just clickbait, man. I mean, stuff that they're saying about fighters, stuff that they're bringing up isn't even true. I read something this morning. It was pure clickbait. It was on Broner, about being arrested again. No, it was an old case back from the summer.
Oh yeah.
He's going to court in February on it, but it's just it's crazy how many people now run around with their phones and they call themselves media, or they put people down, they put fighters down, or they make up stories to get people to click onto their sites, and it's
Even in person, I was with Adrien in Vegas, and just the things people say, it's like
To him, you mean?
Yeah, just in
things that
passing,
people
it's
shout
just-
out, yeah.
It's just like, wow.
Things that they would probably never say to his face.
Yeah.
Well, what's AB like?
I get along with him very well. I'm very close with AB.
That's what I
him.
saw. Yeah.
Yeah, I like him.
Do you
a
actually
lot.
call him AB?
I do.
Okay.
I call him AB. I call him AB. Yeah, I get along with him. We a couple years ago we didn't get off to the best start, but we've
What
grown.
happened?
This guy.
Here we
Yeah,
go.
yeah, no.
No,
Let's get
oh my
into
gosh,
the dirt right now.
Well, it was a press conference like a couple years ago, maybe 2 years ago in Cincinnati, and it was when he was fighting Granados, and I promote Granados, so
Yeah.
he just he was just and he was doing what he was,
Yeah.
He was being AB.
kind of a little bit took it out on me, but we've moved on since then. I love that kid. I actually really do. He's one of my favorites.
Talking about Granados, he's going to be getting in the ring soon against
Danny.
Danny Garcia. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was sick. He missed the upfronts on Fox. Did you see the message he delivered?
Yeah.
Yeah, from his bed.
So
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah, so
we have a question coming in from a fan, and it says, as far as like rumors in the boxing community, which rumors would you like to see actually put to rest? Is there any rumors that are out there that you'd like to see just go away?
That you guys fix all the fights?
is that a rumor?
No, not you, not like
Oh.
TGB, but you see every fight that comes out, I think that there's it's the fix is in kind of thing. It doesn't matter what the decision is.
I'm trying to think. Let me think about that. I'll think of a good one that I've heard.
Okay.
No, I didn't mean you specifically, but
Yeah.
like for
like,
instance,
is that out
did you
there?
guys watch the Floyd Mayweather exhibition?
Yeah. I did. And actually, I'm glad he showed up to the arena 2 hours late, so I didn't have to get up so damn early in the morning to watch it,
Is that
Yeah,
what happened?
exactly.
He showed up 2 hours late.
Something like that,
And
yeah.
he collected $9 million.
Did you watch it?
I've seen. No, I watched it afterward.
You watched it? Yeah, I mean,
did
I
not
watched
watch it live.
I watched it on
Yeah.
YouTube. Yeah,
Okay, yeah,
basically. I saw it. I'm not even sure if you could watch it live here.
Uh,
Like not
Somebody was streaming
Legally.
Why
it,
would you waste
yeah.
your
Yeah,
time,
not
though,
legally.
you know?
Yeah.
but I watched it
Saw
live.
Ramblin' Ralph out there. He's the announcer for Mayweather Promotions. Good guy. So yeah, Kenny Bayless was out there. I watched.
Kenny Bayless,
Bayless
ref.
was the ref.
Yeah, not that it needed one.
Actually, I think
And
Ralph.
of all people, Bayless. I mean,
Yeah,
Whatever,
not that
you
not
know.
that it needed a ref, I guess, in that fight.
Well, Floyd said all the rules, and he brought Ralph over, right? But then, and this is
What, so what do you
I
mean
sort
set
of
all the rules? It was boxing.
No, I mean he was like,
The
yeah,
rules
against
is
a
that.
kickboxer, right? That's
Yeah.
like 20 pounds lighter.
But yeah, he
than him,
doesn't
right?
set the
But-
rules of boxing. They are what they.
Well, he brought his own announcer over, and I think the dude mispronounced like the name of the stadium, and everyone was still
Well,
like,
I wouldn't blame him. That's got to be hard.
Yeah,
That's
no,
a-
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
I know.
Look at Stacks can't even
I
get
can-
half the
yeah.
fighters' names right.
Yeah.
man, we've talked about 3 fighters, and I've got 2 of their
I
names
know,
wrong
you got two of
already.
their names wrong. So if he can't get it, it's all right.
if you can pull in $9 million like that, like
But like
why the fuck not?
for instance, like Mayweather, that whole thing, the idea that was a fix, for instance, who would benefit from that? Who would benefit from that?
It's not going on anybody's record.
Fixes. Well, what I mean is fixes only happen for one reason. What's the only reason that there is to fix a sporting event?
For betting reasons.
Not necessarily for betting, but for money.
Yeah,
right.
for money.
It doesn't have to be gambling. Like you could say, oh, they fixed that fight because this young prospect, they didn't want him to get a 0 or something. But that's all about money and future gains, right? So the only reason to fix something is for money. So for anyone who thinks that the fight with like Floyd Mayweather and Tenshin was fixed, just think to
come on,
yourself,
yeah.
who benefits? Who benefits? He already would have been a massive favorite. There's no reason to fix a fight for him to win.
The kid was like a bantamweight, man.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
So, no.
He was like, I don't
It's
know
like
what
literally 120 pounds.
exactly. Like I don't know what the odds would have been for him to win, but it's basically as much of a sure thing as you can get without having to fix the fight. So what
would have been a fix is if Floyd would have took a dive. That would have been
if
a
Floyd
fix.
went down in the first round, I would have been like, oh, that might have been a fix. right. But for him to humiliate, you know what I think happened? Yeah,
He got hit and he got mad.
Yeah.
That's exactly what happened,
He
man.
took a clean shot. He was messing around. He's out there throwing
No,
this
that's
nonsense.
true.
Yeah.
Like, the first 30 seconds, he was
Exactly.
like doing this
He's
thing,
doing
right?
these
Like,
weird punches that aren't
yeah.
even real punches. He's dancing.
Yeah.
He's smiling. He takes a clean shot, and that kid messed up by hitting him. That's what that's what
Right.
happened. And then now, granted, it's an exhibition. You're not supposed to take advantage in that way, but you know.
Well, look at what Drago did to Creed, man. And that was supposed to be an exhibition.
That's messed up, man. Why you got to bring up old stuff?
Just saying.
Well, this is Floyd's world, and we just all live
No,
in it,
yeah.
right?
Right. All right. Tell us what you thought about the Charlo fight, the Charlo Harrison fight.
You know, I didn't get to watch it that night because I was running around, obviously. But I watched it back, and it's judging. You know.
No, Charlo clearly won that fight.
Right, but people saying about the judges, and that's why there's 3 of them. You know, and the corruption in boxing or whatever. I mean, you could say that about any sport that has umpires, the bad calls. I mean, it sucks, but I thought he handled it really well. I thought Jermell was very classy about it. I thought he handled it as best someone could. I probably wouldn't handle it that well.
So it seems like in the last decade or so, last 15 years, the O is very important to some of these young fighters. Where in the past,
that's the Floyd, though.
Yeah, the Floyd syndrome, where nobody wants to take that loss, right? Where in the past, where fighters, they fought each other. They'd fight each other 2 or 3 times. They'd take a loss, they'd go back, they'd rematch, and you'd have trilogies. How important is it to you guys as a company? Of course, you want your fighters to win, but how important is it that they stay undefeated?
There's different. It doesn't matter because there's different kinds of losses too. You know, there's a loss where someone you got effed up, or you know, you left your heart in there, and
you can say it. We're on a podcast.
Yeah, and things happen. You know, so no, it's win, lose, or draw. You know, we got you. It's again though, if you come in, you're out of shape, you didn't try, you know, that's a different situation. But for someone, if you're give it your all, I mean, no one cares about a loss. You come back stronger. It gives you something to come back. But again, we're in a new era where the O is really important.
Yeah, I've said that. Like, I think we've said that a number of times on the broadcast where when I was a kid, it didn't matter that much.
Yeah.
Like, everybody had one.
You still had your fans.
You know?
You still had...
all that stuff.
Yeah.
I think the 2 things that I've seen change the most are the size of the men at heavyweight, because I swear men were not that big when I was younger.
Still people's favorites, though.
What's that?
Still people's favorites. They love a heavyweight
The heavyweight
fight.
battle?
I mean, even on... If it's like a 4-round heavyweight fight on the undercard, they love it. The fans love that.
Yeah, I mean, and let me
like those big guys.
Yeah, they slug. That's why, you know what
exactly.
I mean? I think at that size, taking a punch from any man of that size it's just never a good idea.
No.
You know what I mean? It's gonna hurt no matter who you are. Yeah. Like what was it? The Kellerman, other guys, they always say about knockout power. Who has knockout power at heavyweight? Everybody does.
Yeah,
everybody has knockout power.
And you know, it's the heavyweights that they can go deep in the fights. And you've seen it with Wilder and Fury. You've seen it with Dominic Breazeale in his last fight. You know, you get to these championship rounds. You know, you get to the end of the fight, and they can still put you out. You know, Fury was well ahead on the cards. It was a close fight, yeah, but then for Wilder to get that knockdown and damn near knock out Fury in the 12th round, that was one of the most epic rounds ever, you know, especially for a heavyweight fight. And it just goes to show the power that they have. You know, I went to the Watson gym one night about 9:00 to go watch a Wilder workout.
I put that on.
Yeah, and it was late at night. It was about a 9:00 workout, and the guy's power is crazy. You know, especially for being a heavyweight. You see him, and his lower body is like he missed leg day quite a few times, and that's just the truth. But the Wilder, but the power that man has it's unbelievable. You hear him hitting the pads, and it's like a shotgun going off in that gym.
He's light, also.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What he weighing? 215 or something? 217.
He's the most athletic heavyweight out there.
Yeah, he was 212.5 at the weigh-in. I think they said his unofficial weight on fight day actually dropped, which I've never even heard of. He went to 209. He said.
Wow.
I don't know if that second part seems crazy to me.
Yeah,
I don't know
did
how
the same thing against Ortiz. He comes back
Ortiz,
and knocks Ortiz out.
He was heavier. He was 215, I think.
Yeah, but what I'm saying
Ortiz.
is just the power and the athleticism he has to go the whole fight and to come back and take these guys out at the end of the fight. You know, you don't see that in the lighter divisions very often.
That's true. That's very true. Although I do think before I get to this one, I want to give a shout out to our number one fan, Randolfo.
What's up?
I missed him at the top. I missed him at the top of the list. I didn't give him the shout out at the beginning.
What's going on, bro?
So now he's crying.
He called me out on it. No, hey man, hey, be nice to the fans.
No, I'm being. I just said, is he crying or what? What's up, Rodolfo, man? Yeah. Thank you for tuning in.
He got your name wrong too.
Randolph?
No,
It's
no.
crazy over here.
Isn't it in front of you? Don't you have it in front of you?
I know it's Rodolfo.
It's. Oh man.
So here's my
Please keep
thing,
watching.
though.
I'm sorry.
All
Go
right.
for it, brother.
So you've taken punches on the show before, right?
Not me. He has.
No.
I did. I took punches from Joseph Landeros for just over a minute with the body pad on. He's a professional. I think he's 17-0 now.
15-0.
15-0. Okay. With like they're probably all knockouts, I imagine, based off of his body work.
Okay. It was,
So like, why would
So,
ESPN send out their intern to get like punched by Wilder?
oh.
Yeah.
He
I
was
don't know.
dressed up in a.
Yeah.
But he was
I don't
dressed
know. It
up
was
like
funny.
in
I
a,
thought it
in a
was
suit or
hilarious.
something,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
It's becoming like a popular thing. I saw Ryan beating up the guy who did the exhibition.
Oh.
Logan
Paul.
Logan
yeah.
Paul, the white collar boxer dude or whatever. I don't really know.
I'm
what-
telling you,
he's
bro.
famous
it's,
for something. I'm
It's
not
views. It's views.
Yeah.
I can go to my social media because we reposted it, and I'm sure I got 20,000
Really?
views on it.
Sure. I'll let people beat me. You want to beat me up for some? You can
No,
punch. Did
that's
your
okay.
did your family ever make you train or try and make you train in boxing?
No.
No, they didn't really get there.
No.
Even with it,
I
because
mean, I think if I needed to, I could really hurt someone.
you could handle
Yeah.
handle it.
I haven't had to yet, but
So, because Joe is actively training Amir Khan right now, I
Yes.
imagine, and it was rumored that Amir Khan would be fighting Terrence Crawford coming up here in
April
April.
20th.
Yeah, like I heard it was a
Madison
thing.
Square
I saw
Garden?
like the posters and stuff, but then I guess someone came back and said, was it Bob came back and said it's not a done deal?
I'm not for sure.
Yeah, not for sure.
Who the hell knows?
my
Yeah,
uncle's
exactly.
also training Lipinets now too.
Nice.
He'll be fighting in March at the MGM National Harbor.
He'll be fighting in MGM National Harbor.
He'll be fighting Lamont
Okay.
Peterson.
Oh,
Okay.
that's interesting.
In Lamont's
And
backyard.
that's at 147 then.
Sure.
Yeah, I think his last fight was at 140. His last fight was his first fight at 147. So
This
he's
will be
fighting
his
Lamont.
first fight with my Uncle Joe.
Oh, great,
So, yeah.
great. So Joe's staying active. Does
He
he
is.
still
He's
dress
really
as
busy.
sharp?
Yeah, you should have seen him on Christmas Eve. It was crazy.
Do you guys all get together?
We do.
Still, you do. Okay.
Yeah.
So you get all the Goossen clan in one.
So many people are married and go with their families now, but a good chunk of them are all there. Yeah.
Oh, the fight stop jumped on. What's up, man? We need to loosen him. Hey, I don't think I said it. I remember I was saying about the comment that I was getting a lot of hate for the Ryan stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he jumped on. I appreciate you jumping on though and taking the time.
there you
I
go.
really do.
34,000 views overnight.
34,000 views.
What, the Ryan Garcia stuff?
Yeah,
Yeah.
and that's a repost. That's not even his. He probably got over 1 million views on his.
What fraction could I get, you think, if I let Ryan beat me up with a body pack? Because doesn't Logan Paul already have like a ton of viewers?
Yeah. You can get a few views, I'm sure. Get a few broken ribs where you're at it. But
I
I,
think
mean,
I got like
worth
six or 700 when Joseph beat me up.
did you?
Yeah.
That's a.
It's
What'd you get?
It's
respectable.
worth it.
You get
That's
about
right.
27 cents or something.
Everything
Are
for
you
the views.
monetized?
Am I monetized?
Yeah, on YouTube.
It's not my channel.
No. Tell I guess
This is the Sweet Science Boxing Gym
then
channel.
he owes you like a kids meal or something because that's probably all you got for is about three
That's
bucks.
non-circumvention
that's why I
agreement.
get to do it in the gym. You know what I mean? That's how we get this gym.
It's a fair trade.
Yeah, it's a fair trade. I just do this for fun, man. You know what I mean? And I
all
like
good.
I like hearing the fight stop comments too. I'm just messing with you, brother. Oh man.
Fight week. Tell us about fight week, man. When you travel with these fighters to fight week and when you have to go places, you know, what is it like for you as far as your work and what you have to do?
24/7. So, there's always someone missed a flight, someone can't check in, someone's room wasn't on the list, this and that. I mean, I feel so relieved when everyone's in and has their per diem and all gloves have been shipped to me, and that's the worst feeling too, when I can't find a FedEx tracking number. And so by Friday night, usually after the weigh-in, is my calm, just get to doing the checks and everything. But the weigh-in is the worst day.
The weigh-in's the worst day.
Worst.
What is the craziest last-minute thing you've ever had to deal with?
Let someone use my bathtub for a salt bath.
What? Like in your hotel room or
Yeah.
you're in your house?
No, God.
Okay, I was gonna say.
In my hotel room. Somehow it got there was a rumor that I had a nicer room,
A nicer bathtub.
a nicer bathtub, which I don't know how anyone would.
Wow.
And so I had to give up my room and bathtub so some kid could make weight.
You gave up your whole room?
I did.
You traded with him?
Yeah, I
or-
wasn't gonna go back in there. I was gonna, you can have it now. I just took a salt bath in there. Like, it's yours.
Did he make weight? Was it worth
Yeah,
it?
and you know what? When I think about it, I'm like, that was like an undercard. There was no reason for me to have to. It was like a 4-round fight on. We should have
You
just.
should have sent him the 24-hour fitness, man.
We were in the middle of San Antonio. We were in the middle of like a nowhere area too. So I did it. I don't know why I did that. I think about it all the time. Like, I really should have drawn the line somewhere.
You should have drawn the line.
Yeah, I ain't
Yeah.
get- I ain't
But it
giving him
worked
my room.
out. That's the thing.
It worked out.
It worked out, right?
It worked out. I couldn't. I couldn't even tell you the kid's name.
Yeah, at the end of the day, if you had to do it again, I imagine you would, right?
Probably.
Yeah.
You know, I also one time in LA, it was fight week. It was actually Leo Abner, the first one. And someone called me at like 6 a.m., called the hotel phone. I was staying in the hotel, and they were like, my sink's not working. It's flooded. And I was like, okay.
What the fuck?
Yeah, I was like, that's not a call for me.
Yeah, don't you call the hotel for
yeah,
that?
I know. It's like, okay, but you know,
Call the
it
front
shows,
desk,
it just
buddy.
shows how much they see me and how much I do, that they think I'm going to.
How much they rely on you.
Yeah, the first call when it's a flood was to call me. So
Okay, how do you guys choose the venues and the cities where the fights are going to be held? Is that something you guys collaborate on as a team, or how does that work? Because I see some of your events are like up in Nice, California.
okay, so Nice, California, actually, those are a couple of ours.
Yes.
That fan base is crazy. Like, they don't have much else up there going on. They came out. I mean, it would sell out in about 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
It was. So we went there originally because the owner of the hotel actually used to work at Little Creek.
Yeah.
Remember when we used to do? So that was his new property. So he promised, come out, just try it. So we gave him one show. The crowd was great. I mean, they were lined up the whole time to meet everyone. So we went back. I wasn't my favorite place, but the fans were crazy. It was awesome.
Yeah, I remember I ran into Pablo Rubio from Shark
Yeah.
Sports, and he does the rings for you
Yeah,
guys.
he'd have to drive up there.
Yeah, and well, he was coming from a Golden Boy card on a Thursday night in like Arizona, and he had to drive up and be up there by like Sunday and pack up
Yeah.
his stuff and take his truck with the ring up to Nice. And I ran into him, and I'm like, "Where you going?" He's like, "You want to jump in and help me? We're going to Nice." I'm like, "No, I'm good, bro."
You know what? Yeah, there wasn't. It wasn't there's like no cell reception in there either. So we were really, but I think about it all the time. Like, I love that we were able to bring a couple shows up there. Those guys, they work so hard for the money that they have, and that they were spending
Yeah.
this money on tickets, and they would come in. I mean, I still get text messages from fans up there asking me when we're coming back. I'm like, oof.
So basically, it's like 3 hours north of Frisco, like
Yeah.
near Clear Lake. Yeah, so
You're
it's
in the middle of nowhere.
way up there.
And it's a pretty poverty-stricken area too. So they are hardworking. It's just, why not bring a show up there? It reminded me of the old days of like our club shows.
Yeah.
They just loved it so much, and they would cheer when it was over, when the fights would all be done. And I mean, we'd had packed, like, stacked cards out there. They would like just encore, like it was a concert. I mean,
You know, and it's good that you guys do that, because it's not just a show in Nice, but they put shows on in Bakersfield. They put shows on in Lancaster. They put shows on in the Inland Empire out in Ontario at the Citizens Bank Arena. You know, so I know they were trying to get the Mars card to San Diego.
Yeah, I
But
remember that before
they-
it was at StubHub here.
Yeah, but they had an issue with an Art LeBeau show. I guess there's like a Valentine's oldie concert going on or something, so they had to move it to the Dignity Sports Health Park now. So
Do you say a Valentine's oldies concert?
yeah,
that Lancaster crowd is really great too. And
Yeah.
that's a first come, first serve, and they line up too. It's why I think we should bring more shows. Those are the people that are watching. That's the real fan base. We should be doing more like that, in my opinion.
I think chants of encore are interesting. Can you imagine if that
Right?
worked out at a
Right.
boxing
I
event?
went to,
You start
We're
chanting
like, what?
encore, and two other guys are like, "Yeah, sure, let's go up and
Yeah,
do it."
yeah.
Like, we're done.
when Bam Bam
We'll
Rios
jump in there and mix it up.
Bam Bam Rios fought in Lancaster, and we were out there because he threw out like the first pitch at a Jethawks game out there. That's their minor league team, is the Jethawks, and Bam Bam threw out the first pitch, you know, after the weigh-ins, and the next day they had the fight. And it's like an old, maybe like an aluminum ice hockey rink or something that they use there.
Okay.
And it gets so damn loud in there. The floors are concrete, and the building is like an aluminum building. with high ceilings, and it just echoes, and it gets crazy loud in that place.
People get rowdy out there too.
Yeah, out in Lancaster.
That's
so
fun. And that's a fun. I like that kind of environment. I like being with the real hardcore fans.
Yeah.
That you know.
and the setup is pretty neat too, because they have the floor seats, right? So say if you have a ring here, they have the floor seats, but on one side of the ring they have elevated seats, so it's like an elevated stage where they have seats on it, so you're at eye level with the ring, and it's pretty neat the way they put the venue together. You
And
have to take a drive
early.
out there. Yeah,
You get there early. You're ringside.
you're ringside because it's first come
Yeah,
first serve.
first come first serve.
Yeah, there's
That's
no.
a cool concept. I don't think I've ever been to a venue that was first come first serve for a boxing match.
It's
Yeah.
Where
pretty
like
cool.
if you just show up early, you get to sit ringside. And
yeah,
that's
sit
what's
wherever
up.
you want.
And
Yeah.
there've been good fights out there. I guess we have. When's June 10th? We did June 10th. Travis Kaufman was on that card.
Yeah.
It was right after the Leo Abner fight in Staples. We had 2 that weekend. It was-
The PEC, somebody said, Iconic Apparel said the Lancaster PEC.
Yep.
Yeah,
Pioneer
What's up,
Event,
Iconic?
Pioneer Event Center.
Yeah, shout out to Iconic Apparel.
Iconic Apparel.
One of my favorite
Hervey
shirts is
does-
an Iconic Apparel shirt.
Hervey does a lot of shows there. He's
Yeah.
actually the one who brought the venue.
I think wasn't he from Palmdale or something, or he used to stay out there?
Yeah.
Yeah, Hervey's a good guy, man. Hervey Estrada's a good dude.
Yes.
So I remember when I first met Hervey, I thought he was. You ever watch a show back in the day called Luck about horse racing?
I do
No.
not remember that.
No. So he kind of looks like this actor, you know, and I.
You don't know the actor's name or
Nah,
anything, though.
man. It's a old,
But even if you did, you would
Could have
probably
been
say it
Hervey.
wrong.
You never know.
yeah,
It's possible.
yeah. He resembled an actor. And when I ran into him, you know, I thought he was that actor, and he's like, "No, man, I'm Hervey Estrada," and we chopped it up. You know, got to know each other. He's a good dude.
He'll be working the corner on Sunday too. Kevin Watts.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
This Sunday. Do you look forward to certain events more than others? Like for these, you have 3 big events coming in January.
Mm-hmm.
Are there some that you look forward to more than others?
Yeah, like I'm very excited for the Pacquiao Broner.
Okay.
fight. Yeah.
Okay.
But
Because you and AB are tight, or is it because
yeah,
like
you have a little bit of a different feeling going into it when someone you're close with. But
That makes
also
sense.
just Vegas, you can't. It's the vibe. Once you get to the MGM, it's just that vibe.
the atmosphere?
The atmosphere. It's gonna be and then Manny. I mean, he's iconic in his own.
Yeah,
Right.
A
So-
division world champion. You
Yeah,
know, so I
and
mean, Manny's Manny no matter what. You know.
Right. So
Definitely, yeah.
I'm sure the crowd's gonna be great. It's gonna be fun.
So how much do you have contact with Adrien leading up to it before you get to, for
Yeah, what's
instance, like
Adrien
the
up to
weigh-in
right
and
now?
stuff like that?
Yeah, I try to not go direct. Like once he's really into training, I'm kind of old school. My Uncle Joe, old school rules where you don't really want to talk. You know, let them be in their zone. So I don't. I mean, I talk to him on Christmas and New Year's, but I haven't I speak to his people all the time. 'cause
Yeah.
we're
So you're in
organizing things
contact with his
Yeah.
camp essentially
Right.
throughout the whole
throughout.
process,
Yes. Yeah.
and that's to make sure that they're doing their medicals, that
Just
they're
everything, yeah, medicals, the media obligations, you know, if there's interviews to be done, we filter everything. There's a lot of people reaching out to him, and it gets crazy if there's all these people they shouldn't be calling him, so they call me, and I filter who or what.
How? Oh, go ahead.
What's the most interesting thing about Broner? I mean,
He's very quick-witted. Obviously, you can tell that.
okay.
He's
He's a good trash talker. I know that.
I think he is the funniest. He is so funny. I think he's hilarious, and he's very, very quick. The things he'll say, sometimes I even have to take a second and be like, he's cracks me up. Did you watch the All Access?
I did not know.
You did not?
You didn't watch the All
I
Access?
did not know.
What are you doing here, man? No, I'm just kidding. Did you watch the All
I
Access?
don't watch it.
Oh man, I know I got
Tough
a
crowd.
boxing show here. It's a tough crowd, yeah.
No. How hard is it for you when it's fight week, and then these fighters, they come to you 3-4 days before the fight and tell you, look, we're not going to make weight, we're not going to clear medicals, or something happens kind of the way it happened with Victor Ortiz, you know, when he was supposed to fight John Molina,
Yeah.
you know, and you get that kind of news where he's getting arrested a week before. How tough is it for your company when something like that happens?
I mean, we're kind of used to rolling with the punches now. My mom always said to me, I don't know why you don't do everything in advance. And I was like, it doesn't matter. I could be the most scheduled person in the world, and someone doesn't make their flight, or someone, you know, doesn't make weight. It's out of, you just figure out the next thing.
Sure.
I panic. Sometimes I cry. and then I just move on. So figure it out.
At a certain point, some people have responsibilities of their own that, like, making weight can't necessarily be your issue. The fighter needs to go and make. I mean, it's your issue in the sense that if they don't make weight, it becomes your problem. But focusing on someone making weight, how can it help?
Exactly.
I leave that to the camps and whatnot. But I'm more concerned about people when they aren't there, when they don't show up, that kind of thing. It's a very scary feeling.
Well, so who's the most high maintenance fighter you've dealt with?
You don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
High maintenance. Am I getting in trouble? Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury.
Mm-hmm.
Did he want just like Red
his
Starburst
camp.
or
I was going to
something?
say, that's completely believable. They just sell Red Starburst in the bag now. You know what I mean? You can just buy them separately.
They're not like that. They weren't bad. Just like about just certain things that I guess, over there is a little bit different than over here, like Vans or that kind of thing. But none of the fighters none of them are that demanding. They're actually very nice, timid for the most part. They've always been easy. And I try to understand too. They've been training for weeks for this one night. So whatever demand, they're going into the ring and risking their lives. Whatever I can do outside, it's not a demand to me. I'm like, whatever you want, you're the one getting in there. It's only you. So you want something outside, let me try to make it easier for you.
So when you guys have fighters that are under TGB, fighters that you guys promote, fighters that you guys advise, and then you guys cross promotional lines to fight, fighters in Golden Boy camp or Top Rank camp, how hard is it as far as like the negotiations go, as far as the promotions go, and how does your job change? Like Amir Khan, for instance, when he went to fight Canelo, everybody knew Canelo was going to be the A side on that fight. What's your guys' involvement in something like that, for your fighter?
I mean, same thing, because we'll do their travel. We'll just coordinate with them. I didn't have a hard time getting anything done. They're professional too. No one. It was. Yeah. Yeah. It doesn't. It's less work because I don't have to worry about one camp, versus a whole card of them. But it was. There was no problems.
Yeah, so when you do the co-promotional things, you each focus on your respective side of the fence, essentially. Right. You don't worry about what's going on their side, and I'm sure you have plenty to deal with without having to deal with that.
Yeah, it's actually kind of like a nice. It's just one person, 6 people in their camp or whatever it is. It's easier than a whole card.
So Iconic said that AB has a couple court dates that are scheduled on the same day, and asked if we have thoughts on that or if there will be conflicts with the fight. Are you aware of any conflicts with the fight?
I'm not aware of any conflicts with the fight.
So for all intents and purposes, we should continue to believe that the fight is on as far as we know.
I do believe that his court dates aren't until February, and the fight's the middle of January. So I don't believe the court dates are going to interfere. Conflict with anything right now. Everything that's been out, I know in the last few days, the press in Cincinnati is the one that actually put something out. It was one of the news stations were the ones actually putting something out. So people are again, clickbait. They're biting to go to that news station to see what it is. Adrien Broner was charged with this or that. So people are saying, he was arrested again. When in fact, the story, if you go into the story and you read it, it was an arrest from last summer. That his arraignment's in February. So it has nothing to do with, there's not going to be any type of conflict with this fight. I don't honestly believe.
Right, and along those, who gives a shit? Like, fight's happening.
Yeah, the fight's going to happen.
Yeah. So.
As far as.
And
that goes with anything, man.
I wouldn't say who gives a shit.
Well,
all right,
I'm sure some people care about.
I don't give a shit.
Look, man, there's people.
That's fine.
There's people that care, but here's the thing, really. Here's my opinion, and this is just my opinion. This doesn't have anything to do with Beat the Count, with Supreme Boxing, with anything. What these fighters do in their personal life that's them. The money they make, that's on them. They can talk about, he gave up $100 million not to fight Fury or not to fight Joshua, and he did this and he did that, and speculate. These guys ain't gonna pay our rent. They ain't gonna pay shit. It has nothing to do with us. Whatever happens in the fight, that happens in the fight. If Floyd gets arrested, if Broner gets arrested or whatever, that's all personal. Same thing with Victor Ortiz. When he got busted, before he was scheduled to fight Molina, that's something that him and his family have to deal with. It is what it is. Did it affect the fight? It did. But as far as these promotional companies are concerned or whatnot, it's business as usual. They gotta go on. So what they did is they elevated Brandon Figueroa to the co-main event against Escandon. And they just keep pushing, So I think, I'm not trying to answer the question for Brittany,
Yeah.
but as far as my opinion, I'm sure they got business to deal with, then besides worrying about somebody's personal problems, unless it affects
Sure.
the fight.
Yeah, you could call it somebody's personal problems, but I think where it becomes an impact is where you have to do something like find a last-minute replacement opponent or do something like that. So it could have an impact in some way on the promotional entity. Not talking about this case specifically, but I'm sure in the past you've had to deal with cases where you mentioned no-shows. Fighter just doesn't show up, for instance, and you're having to somehow fill that gap, right?
Yeah, but again, you hope you have a solid undercard and you move someone up.
Yeah.
We roll with it. Unfortunately, it's a part of business,
It probably helps to have the matchmaking talent that you guys have, which creates
Definitely.
a solid undercard with
Definitely.
your dad being Hall of Fame matchmaker.
December 22nd, when Korobov, he was on the undercard. He moved right into that place of a main event, and I think it was a pretty good main event. You couldn't have told the difference that, in place of Willie. Like, that was last minute,
So does he transition some of that matchmaking know-how to you? Like, is that in your future somewhere? Do you dabble in matchmaking?
He sees things so different. His knowledge is just so it's crazy. Like, when I see what he's done, I'm like, wow, damn, like you're really smart.
Well,
at boxing.
but what's your dream fight? Do you have a dream fight?
I don't have a dream fight, but I have been wanting to see this Plant Uzcategui fight for like a long time now.
Okay.
So I'm actually very much looking forward to it. I think it's going to be a really good fight. I don't know why anyone doesn't want to go see it.
Yeah.
It's going to be.
If you're in the LA area, that's a great venue.
Definitely. It's a Sunday
yeah.
night
LA
show
Live.
too. Yeah.
Absolutely.
I think Plant's gonna win. I think he's gonna come away with the victory. I like Jose. Bolivia, good fighter.
People are really torn on this one.
And
knockout
he's
of the year,
really,
maybe.
really
I'm kind of in the Uzcategui camp.
To me, I think Plant has better footwork. I think he's a little bit of a better defensive fighter. I think he's a good boxer, and you really don't see that right now in that super middleweight division. I think he's gonna frustrate the hell out of him, and I think honestly he's gonna bring the fight to Jose. I think he's gonna get it, hold, make it dirty, punch, in and out. When they do get in, before he gets hit, he's gonna lock him up and hold him. It's gonna be
I also think if Caleb does pull off the win, he's going to shoot to super. I think he'll be a star.
2019's his
I
year.
think he'll be. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think he's a good-looking kid. He's a nice kid. He's a good interview. He's got a lot of star quality about him. But I've been wanting this fight. I'm telling you, 2 years. So.
All that plus stacks, you can actually say his name, so it works
Yeah.
out a little bit better for you if he wins. We'll get to talk about him more frequently.
Oh, Caleb Plant.
Yeah, exactly.
That's pretty
You
easy.
got that
It's
one
pretty
right.
easy one.
Yeah.
You got Plant right.
Well, someone else on that card you mentioned too, LB Ali.
I like him
He's
too.
one of my favorites. Like,
Yeah.
he can knock a dude out.
Yeah, he's tough, and he's a really smart kid too.
He's a smart kid.
just
He's a
graduated from
sweetheart
college.
too.
He's really
right? Like,
nice,
really
good-looking
nice.
kid too.
I know,
He's-
right?
he's-
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, no, I saw him at the couple years ago. He did a show at the Palladium.
Yeah.
Remember that one?
Oh, that was
The
September
Austin
8th.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
You know the exact date of the.
Yeah, I don't know how. That's how I
You could do that with all the
It's
events.
it's the magic.
I think
of
I
LB Ali.
can. Last year a little bit. I get a little confused, but yeah, that's how I know where I was and what things were happening. I can tell by the date. Yeah, that was September 8th.
Oh my goodness.
Brittany was actually at that one.
Me
Our
too.
mutual friend.
I know.
Oh.
Brittany was there
Yep.
too.
Yep.
Shout out to Brittany.
Yeah.
I think that I tend to favor Uzcategui in that fight. And I hear a lot of people are split actually
It's
on it.
very split.
And I think some of it has to do with the fact that Uzcategui, even though he won that last fight,
Yeah.
there were times where it looked a little bit more competitive than I think people expected given the opponent who he had. And so sometimes they look at it and they go, oh, well, he didn't look so great against that guy, so he's definitely not going to look good against Caleb Plant. But he also, he didn't, when he had those performances against Darrell, you wouldn't look at those and say, oh man, he was doing excellent in those cases. So I don't know if it's a matter of fighting to the level of competition, but he has shown that he can.
Styles make fights.
Yeah,
I was gonna
he's
say,
shown that he can
Caleb's
really do
style
that.
is just so unique too. I
Yeah.
think yeah. That's,
So I tend to favor Uzcategui, but I think it'll be a great fight.
Can I make a
I'd like to see
prediction?
it. Just go for it.
Let's see.
So what? You got to look at your notes for your prediction, bro.
No,
Yeah, I know. What up, Daniel? Happy New Year to you too, brother.
I'm gonna say UD 118, 110
For who? Plant.
for Plant.
That's a very specific prediction. I've never.
So
At least
did
one
you,
judge
Did you
is
bet
gonna
on
do
that?
that.
or
10,
something?
10 rounds
Maybe.
to 2. That's
10 rounds to 2.
That's a straight clinic, huh?
You want to take that bet?
No, I told you I got Plant, bro. But yeah, I'll
But
take
you
the.
got
I'll,
him
I'll
10
take
rounds to
the.
2.
I'll take the bet on the score.
You'll take 10 rounds to
10
2.
rounds
take
to
the bet
2,
on the
you got him,
score.
dude.
What do you want to bet?
It doesn't matter, bro.
Bottle
Whatever.
tequila.
That works. But you ain't getting Patron. You're gonna get like salsa or something. The $11.99 bottle, man.
Gosh.
No.
Someone
Okay.
asked, who is the other Brittany? It's a mutual friend of these guys.
it's,
Oh,
it's
yeah, don't
my
you-
best friend since I was 3 years old.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And let me real quick, Daniel Velez, give the shout out to Region 8 Championships. They're headed to the Nationals. Thanks, Daniel, for chiming in, and I appreciate it. If you have other specific shout outs for the Nationals, let me know, and I'll throw them in.
So I hear that there's gonna be a special guest sitting ringside at the Pac Bronner fight named Triple G. Have you heard that?
I have not heard that.
Mm.
But I met him. He's really nice. I met him
Yeah,
after his fight.
Can-
Who
Oh,
was?
He's great.
The Triple G is gonna be a special guest sitting ringside at the Pac Bronner fight.
I know.
Oh,
nothing
really?
That is
about
his
that.
wife is taking over the
Wouldn't she be the one that knows?
Tom Loeffler. Yeah,
I think you're just making things up.
No, that his wife basically is taking over for Tom Loeffler. It's him, his wife, and
Wait,
one
Triple
other
G's
person.
wife is taking over for Tom Loeffler?
Pretty much.
So,
Until
like, Triple G's wife is running the show now?
that's the word on the curb.
Interesting.
It's been
Okay.
reported that he and his wife are conducting all of the meetings mutually without the presence of Tom Loeffler. So basically, they're meeting regarding their next move in terms of opponents and things like that, and that Tom Loeffler is not present at those meetings. That's what I have seen reported.
I'd love to see him and Charlo go at it.
I'm sure you would.
So I
That'd
had
be a good
heard
fight,
that there was January 1st. I had heard that was the deadline from the WBC for a purse bid, that they had to get something put together between Charlo and Triple G as far as a purse bid goes. But then I really haven't heard anything since then. What's the likelihood of fans seeing G and Charlo go at it?
I have no idea.
I have no idea.
I met Triple G one time after his fight, after the Canelo fight.
Isn't he the nicest person ever?
He was so nice. We were at his after party, and I got Abel. I've known Abel my whole entire life.
Yeah.
So, I mean, he used to train in still does, with my Uncle Larry. My Uncle Larry had a boxing club up there. So, Abel got us in, and Brittany and me, and we just had the best time. And Triple G was so nice. So that's all I know about Triple G, though.
So you're not getting the inside scoop
Yeah,
here today.
I don't know any inside scoop.
Wow. Well, next time you meet Triple G, let me know, because
I don't know if I think that was like a one-off.
was
so,
it a one-off? Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm getting invited to any other parties.
Somebody asked if they gave Uzcategui 2 weeks to train like Caleb's other opponents. Well, here's the thing, man. This fight was already scheduled. It was Caleb that he had hurt his hand. It broke his hand. Ended up having, I don't know if he had surgery or not, but he had to wait for his hand to heal, because this fight was actually scheduled to take place like in, I want to say either Detroit or Canada a few months back, and it just fell through because of the injury to Caleb. So Uzcategui has had enough time to train. He's had more than 2 damn weeks. So
More than 2 weeks. That's all.
Yeah.
That's all it takes.
you guys gonna maybe discuss Adonis
2 weeks.
Stevenson.
Let me give a couple shout outs to the Nationals real quick, because Daniel's chiming in here. Chevy Rodriguez, 70 pounds. Orlando Garcia, 90 pounds. Terry Washington, 80 pounds. 13-14 champion.
Wait, what's going on here?
He's giving
I'm
shout
giving
outs to the
shout outs
amateurs.
to the
yeah,
Nationals.
okay,
Yeah.
yeah.
So Daniel Velez is coming on with all the juniors who participate in the Nationals. Joe Sanchez, Colorado, 85 pounds. So shout outs to them. And Daniel, if you have more like Perla, I'm trying the name, brother. It's Bazad. You guys want to give that a
Oh,
go?
he's from that part of the world.
Perla Basil
Basil
Dua.
Basil
I think I got
Dua,
it. Basil Dua. Perla Basil Dua.
Perla.
Uh,
Inspire Media asking about Adonis Stevenson. How's he doing? Have you been in You guys been in contact with his family or anything, or do you know?
I mean, I saw his wife posted recently that he was.
Yeah.
He was out of his coma.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it was the day before Christmas. I know
Yeah, that was the last that I had heard.
the
also.
WBC. I keep in contact with people in the WBC, and they had, reached out to his family the day before Christmas. He had come out of his coma, but it's going to be a long road to recovery either way.
Adonis.
Yeah, Adonis
referring to
Stevenson.
Stevenson.
Even if he is out of his coma, I'm sure he's never gonna fight again. So if that's if you believe in, whatever religion you guys believe in or whatnot, if prayer is your thing, good thoughts are your things, keep him in your prayers, because he's gonna need a long road to recovery. It's gonna be.
And then there's one fight that we actually didn't cover quite yet, and I think it's the one that I'm looking forward to the most. So if we could take a minute and just talk about Kieth Thurman and Josesito Lopez, because as much as I'm looking forward to Broner and some of these other ones, I'm interested in seeing the return of Kieth Thurman, and also Josesito Lopez being sort of a homegrown entity. The Riverside Rocky, obviously he's from around here. We encounter him quite a bit. He does some of the
announcing at Thompson
boxing events in Ontario and things like that, so we definitely see him around. But it's the one that I think I'm sort of the most interested in. So what are your thoughts on Kieth Thurman and Josesito Lopez?
My thoughts are that's a good fight for him to come back to. Josesito Lopez has a lot of experience. He's been in there with quite a few fighters. He's got the experience. So I mean, as far as Thurman coming back off of his surgery or whatnot, that's a good. It's a name. People know who Josesito Lopez is.
But Thurman's gonna one-time him, right?
I don't know. I don't know how bad that injury is. I don't know how bad as far as the surgery goes or whatnot. I don't know if he's gonna knock him out or not. More than likely gonna get a knockout. But I mean,
Isn't that kind of insulting to the fighter? That's a name. You know what I mean?
But Thurman's
He
seems like a
is
weird
a name,
dude.
but he's a
sort
good
of a weird
fighter.
dude,
He is
right?
but what I'm saying is
he's not just a name.
I'm not saying he's just a name. I'm saying he's a good fighter with a lot of experience. But he also has a name. People know who he is.
Yeah.
So it's not just like they're putting together a show with somebody. Somebody out of TJ. I mean.
Yeah, definitely.
He's been around us for a long time too.
Yeah.
Josesito?
Yeah,
Oh,
he was
Josesito.
signed to Goossen Promotions for a while. I mean, that one upset, he surprised everyone then. So
Yeah, with Victor Ortiz.
With
That's what he's
Victor
saying.
Ortiz,
Basically, I'll shock the world again. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
they'd counted him out there too. So
Yeah, that was all like part of setting up a Canelo fight. Remember? And
Yeah.
then when he broke Victor's jaw and Victor quit, then he fought Canelo next, which was
we actually
pretty
had
crazy.
another fight at at Sportsman's Lodge that night. I went to Sportsman's Lodge, and I remember getting the call and being like, "Wait, what?" I couldn't believe it. So I like Josesito. He's a good guy. I like Kieth too. I just think it will be a good fight.
Yeah, I hope it'll be a good fight. I
Yeah.
think it'll be entertaining. It's
And
hard
Gerald
one to call.
Washington's on that card too. Gerald and Kaunaki.
That's right.
Well, that's a good heavyweight fight.
I think it's a tough call only because of Kieth Thurman's inactivity, and we don't know.
You don't know.
Yeah, you don't really know how he'll rebound from that. So we're all kind of just guessing. Even we could say before everything that you're basing your predictions on is Kieth Thurman before he was inactive for 2 years and coming off a surgery. So it's all really just a guessing game at this
I
point.
think we got a lot of good main events to start out the year.
Yeah, a lot of them.
Week after week.
How are you guys following all that up? What can we look forward to later in the year?
I mean, we've through Fox they've announced. all
Yeah,
of
through
those,
Fox.
all of those fights coming
Mayweather,
up.
Pacquiao too.
No, that's
Just gotta get through Broner, right? I mean,
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
yeah,
true.
yeah,
I know.
exactly.
Well,
Just
even if he
looking straight over
loses,
Broner.
he got knocked out by Marquez, and that still happened, right?
but yeah, and then February 9th has obviously already been announced.
Yeah.
Showtime, Javante and
Gervonta
Abner.
Davis and
then we
Abner
have
Maris, yeah.
Leo the following week.
Ooh,
Leo
Leo.
Miguel Flores. And
I
then-
see you post a lot of pictures with Leo. Are you tight with Leo?
Yeah, I love Leo. I love the whole family. They're a good family.
We had a Leo strength and conditioning coach on, I think 2 weeks ago, and I had just the weekend before that met Leo at an all-star boxing card. Super cool guy.
He's
Yeah,
nice.
Leo's chill.
Super cool.
Leo's the nicest person I've ever met.
Really?
He'll
Genuinely?
just genuinely nice. He will sit there for hours doing interviews and pictures. He'll never say no.
The day after he fought Mares the second time, we were in the middle of the WBC amateur show in Whittier, And he had just went to the doctor and got stitched up and still showed up to sign autographs and hand
Oh.
out medals for the kids.
That's
At
Leo,
the
right?
Lancaster. Right?
No, this was in Whittier. We had an amateur
Oh,
show.
He showed up.
Yeah, he showed up, and then from there he had to take off to go somewhere
After
else.
the Leo Abner 2 here,
Yeah.
he went out to Lancaster for the fight.
So he was everywhere.
And just didn't even, so unassuming. Just comes in, sits
Really?
wherever
Yeah.
he is, just buys tickets. I was like, what? Didn't even tell me you were coming.
He basically showed up at the All-Star event like for the first card, and I think they had something like 9 bouts scheduled that evening, and he
Yeah.
was there taking pictures pretty
Yep.
much from the first card and
Just
to the
really
end.
good.
It's not like they have security like roping
Yeah.
off the first row or something like that.
There
like,
was,
all night long.
He's
It was
just
a
really good
team
guy.
that came for the Golden Gloves. Some kids came from Texas. I don't know what happened. Their motel fell through or something, and he went and found the family and took him to his house, let him stay at his house, let him swim in his pool,
Wow.
and just you guys can hang out here at my house,
He's the most genuinely. I love him.
Yeah.
Like, it's like a brother to me. Love him.
How long have you known him?
6-7 years.
Oh, really? Oh, so it's not been very long, really.
No, but
Okay.
I mean, I deal with him a lot. so,
Sure,
yeah.
sure. Yeah, I assume, I guess, for some reason that for most of these fighters that you have like
A lot of them I
experience
go way
with them. Yeah,
back
like way
with,
back.
But yeah, Leo not so much. He's young too. Yes.
Yeah, he's definitely a young
How
guy.
excited are you for the Earl Spence Mikey Garcia fight in Texas?
I was most excited just to post what I post on Instagram. Did you see it?
Mm,
The Bob Arum.
The Bob. It's
Bob-
bullshit. It's not happening.
right.
Yeah, I was waiting on that for a long time.
So I had
But-
I had interviewed Mikey back last January,
Mhm.
and he had called out Earl Spence, and
Yeah, he has been for a while.
he that was the first time he had called him out. He called him out. I had a radio show with the NBC out in the Inland Empire, and Mikey came on and he called him out, and I thought, yeah, okay, whatever. It's
Now it's
Mikey,
happening.
Mikey being Mikey, and then little by little the talks kept up, and it's happening. So, what do you think about that fight?
I like both of them, so that's some of the fights are a little weird for me because I, just want them to have a good fight and both be safe, really. But I think Mikey's got balls. I mean,
Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and then to step up in Earl's backyard, to have the
Yep.
fight in Arlington,
but
Texas.
Mikey's a really big Cowboys fan too. Well,
Yeah.
really big. So I'm sure
There's a
it's
lot of
gonna be-
Mexicans in Texas.
there's
going
going to be a lot of, for both of them. At Errol's last fight in Dallas at the Ford Center, I had chills when he came walking in the ring. The crowd was just crazy. It's got to be such a feeling to just be in your backyard where you grew up, where you worked so hard and have all these people just there for you. Like
Yeah.
it was crazy. So I can't imagine what it's going to be like at a bigger venue. It's going to be quite a week.
It's gonna be a
Looking forward to that one.
Texas-sized showdown.
A Texas shot. Yeah, that's right.
Good insert right there.
There you
Texas
go.
Shies.
Yeah, but
Texas
they're
Showdown.
both really big Cowboys fans, so it's got to be such a surreal feeling for both of them.
And they can't both wear Cowboys colors.
Well,
could.
they could.
Yeah, they could.
Earl could wear the blue, and then
Yeah.
Mikey could wear the silver with the star. And
One wears
Oh.
silver and blue, and the other one wears blue and silver.
Mikey's from Oxnard, and that's where the
Yeah.
Cowboys training facility is.
Yeah.
So you got a good. Mikey tells me all the good places to go in Oxnard too. I go out there often. All the
nice.
good taco places.
I would like to hear that, actually.
I'll,
If you have the good taco spots, let me know when we get
should I
off the
say
show.
one right now? Let me look at my text message.
Go.
His last one that he gave me.
Seriously? Yeah,
Mhm.
I would like to. I'll give a plug to the taco spot.
There's a taco
What's
spot
that?
right around the corner here, man. Right before you get back onto the 105,
Yeah.
right on the corner. I don't know what it's called, but
Taco de Mexico on 5th Street.
Taco de Mexico on 5th Street. You heard it right
Recommended
here.
by Mikey Garcia.
there you go. Shout out.
To Mikey Garcia. Give that.
If you're in
What are they?
Oxnard, you guys gonna have to check that out. Tacos
Should
de
we have done,
Mexico
I
on
feel
5th
like he
Street.
should have got paid for that.
He warned me. He was like, "It's a hole in the wall." I was like, "It's okay.
Well, if I see
Those are the
Showtime
best
commercials
places.
for
Yeah.
Texas-sized showdown, then it's
I'll know where it came from, or you'll know where it came from." Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Look at that free advertising for. I'm sorry.
Well,
what was
I
it?
don't know about
Tacos.
free.
What?
Tacos in Mexico.
Oh, yeah.
Oh yeah, I'm talking about the taco place.
Yeah.
Taco
Also,
place.
in March 9th, we have Porter and Ugas, which I think is going to be.
Ugas, that's the fight.
Mm.
We had talked about that last year about who I'd like to see go at it, and that was one of them was Porter and Ugas. I didn't know that fight was announced yet, so yeah, that's gonna be a good fight right there. Yeah, Ugas.
You don't keep up with it. They announced the whole lineup.
Well, I know they announced the whole lineup, but they.
Yeah.
I think that's when we talked about it. Was when the
That
announcements
probably
came out.
was. Yeah, that probably was. when
There's
we went
just
through.
there's so much going on between DAZN and Golden Boy. The Canelo, the 11 fight deal with Canelo. Then it's 10 Golden Boy cards that they're putting on DAZN as well. The first one being
Well,
February.
I was gonna
Yeah,
say
Roy Jones Jr.
They put before you get to Roy Jones Jr. So they put that card straight up against Abner and right.
Right? Yeah,
And
exactly.
they put it up straight up against Abner and at StubHub.
Well, Top Rank actually moved theirs one day. Top Rank moved the Jose Ramirez card to Sunday. Yes, I did know that. So that's a Sunday card. So that Saturday you have the DAZN card.
The DAZN card in Indio.
Yeah, going up against.
And then you guys have the card at StubHub.
And I'll be at the StubHub Center.
What is it? That's
The
right.
Yes.
Dignity Health.
Dignity Health.
Dignity Health Sports
Dignity-
Park.
Yeah, it's not the
Sports
StubHub. I'm
Park.
sorry. Whatever it's called.
I
now.
like that venue too. I think that's a
It's
great
the best.
It's
venue.
great.
It is
The
great.
crowd gets wild there.
I almost
Oh,
got
yeah.
a fight there in the stands.
A lot of people do.
I know.
A couple years ago, we did a fight there years ago.
Yeah,
and
some Nicaraguan guy.
I think it was a Paul Williams fight, if I'm not
Paul
mistaken.
Williams,
Yeah, I
the
know.
Punisher.
I've
and
seen
a
I've
fight
seen Paul
broke out.
Williams fight at
Oh,
StubHub. Yeah.
Yeah, and
Kermit
Dude, I got in a
Cintron, I
fight
think
with
I
the,
saw.
And that was the one.
That was the
security
one? I was
guards
gonna
over
say.
and I
there, too.
remember I was with all my friends, and we were sitting in like the front row, and I was like, "Oh, there's my Uncle Dan," and someone yelled like, "Dan Goossen, you lying, cheating," and I was like,
Oh,
"Oh,
wow. That was a peculiar fight because Kermit Cintron like fell out of the
The
ring and
ring.
it stopped like in the fourth round,
And there
and then
was
it
so
had to
many
go to the
fights.
scorecards because they had
There were
started.
so many fights in the it was crazy.
Yeah.
They get wild.
But
in
yeah,
Club Center.
Paul Williams and Kermit Cintron. I do remember seeing
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, just FYI though. So sometimes they put media out in the stands,
Uh-huh.
and like I almost got in a fight. Like I almost did.
Like you.
Well,
were,
there's it's not
like-
like the other. It's not like the other venues for media. There's only two rows of tables.
No, I know. I'm just
so,
saying
I mean,
though.
There's
you know,
there's really nowhere to
I like
put us.
literally got in a stare down with this dude. Like, is like a Chocolatito fight. So there's a bunch of like angry Nicaraguans there, right? And he was fighting against Sorungvizai, who's like Asian, and I'm Asian, right? And I was standing. I could be Mexican, you never know, or Native American. But anyways, I'm like taking pictures, like trying to post on like my publication, and the Nicaraguan dude's like yelling at me, and then he comes and he like stands in front of me, but he's like 5'4", and I'm just like, and we just like get into like this stare down, but then he backed off because his wife was like, "Oh no, don't."
So somebody's commenting about snack and PED.
Yeah.
Look, man. Before you guys start with the rumors, the PED rumors about either Earl or about Mikey, both have been enrolled to VADA testing.
Mhm.
Yeah, that's
There's
ridiculous.
going to
Come
be 10 weeks of testing unannounced. So don't give me that bullshit about PEDs, please. Until they get popped, then
Yeah,
say something.
But I think
Seriously,
the
man.
point is though.
And yes, he is up there with Snack, and I do know the guys from Snack, including Victor. And whatever happened in the past with Balco's the past, and that's it.
Mhm.
Yeah, but I think when you look at this, what they're saying is all the snack and PEDs in the world can't save Mikey. So it's not necessarily an accusation against Mikey. They're essentially saying that even if Mikey were all roided out or
That he's
whatever
not
the
gonna
case
beat him?
is, that he's not going to stand a chance against Errol Spence.
Mm-mm.
That's more or less
Mikey-
the
Mikey
here's
could
the
win that
gist of
fight.
this
Here's
comment.
my
He could
thing
win
with
that
here's my
fight.
thing with Earl, man. Is Earl a great fighter? I believe so.
Of course.
I believe he's in the top 10 pound for pound.
Yeah.
I believe so. But his only real test is Brooke.
Sure.
Who
I get
else?
it.
Who else has tested Earl?
Yeah.
Like I said, his last fight was last year sometime against Ocampo, and he knocked him out in the
Hey.
first round. So he got less than one round of action.
It's the fight
Right?
of the year. It's the event of the year.
There's going to be some ring rust in there
It's
for
a
Earl
Texas
as well.
size showdown.
It is. There's going to be some ring rust for Earl.
It's gonna
Is
be
Earl
interesting,
strong? Is
right?
he?
It's
Does he have a good chance to knock out Mikey? Yeah, he does. Does
Hey, I'm
does
gonna
Mikey
search for fights right now.
Does Mikey have a good chance to outbox Earl? Yeah. We don't. I mean, let the fight play out.
Dude, I'm like Mikey's #1 fan, so
Those
CMD
tickets
boxing
are going
or-
like crazy.
I
That's
believe
right,
it.
yeah.
Yeah,
Neither are great.
To that point, CMD Boxing Report jumped on. They said that the snack talk is just to hype the fight. So I have a. Do you guys actually insert talk to hype fights and stuff?
No, man. Here's
I don't know that fight needs a whole lot of hype
Yeah.
anyway like that.
Snack ain't hyping no fights, man. Snack's there honestly to help him with his strength and development. There's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that's going on to help him with the strength and development. That's all I'm going to say about that right now.
Mhm.
That's it.
Mhm.
I mean,
Although, speaking of hyping
And-
fights, though,
Mm-hmm.
what's the most ridiculous thing you've ever seen at a press conference?
I don't. My like gauge of ridiculous is really
It's off.
yeah. I mean anything goes these days. So I don't know. I haven't seen anything. Oh, you mean between the fighters talking to
No,
each
I
other?
don't know. Like Robert Guerrero's dad's always interesting, right?
Ruben.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Ruben.
he's
They were
Angel's interesting too.
Angel
Sometimes the
too. Yeah.
dads
Or
are-
like when Ruben and Angel were in the same room together. Like, is that interesting?
Yeah, I
Hey,
mean,
East Coast
Doesn't
Cholo.
do it for you. Huh?
nothing really. I've grown up in this, so
Yeah.
nothing's like.
I think Robert was inducted into that California
He
Boxing Hall of
was.
Fame the same year as your dad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember. Yeah, he was one of the inductees.
He's
on that.
back now too, right? He just fought on our.
He did, yeah. He
Yeah.
just fought very
Yeah.
recently. And so Areola just fought very recently,
Yeah.
and you guys used to promote Areola too, right?
Forever and ever.
Yeah,
I've worked with
exactly.
Chris since I was like 14.
Yeah, exactly.
And-
So you guys promoted Areola, and I know that he made a comeback fight like just
did.
not long ago on the Tyson Fury card, wasn't it? Was it on the undercard?
Yeah, he was.
Yeah,
he was
yeah,
on the undercard there.
yeah. He was
Yeah.
on the undercard there.
Yeah. Last fight of the night too was. Chris is back.
He was the last fight of the night.
Yeah,
was.
they pushed
Oh.
it. They pushed it back because of the TV schedule.
He was a
So
swing,
Dude.
So
You know what's funny is I was there. I was at that fight,
And
and
you
I
left.
I didn't see it, and then I was trying to figure out how I missed it, and now I know.
it was
I was like, what?
you know what's pretty crazy at the press conference, son? Huh? It
What's
was
that?
That Batman routine that happened at the
Tyson Fury
Tyson
one?
Fury one.
What was that?
The
Oh
Bat-
yeah,
the Bat-
Tyson
the
Fury
Batman
shows
Joker.
up as Batman, and he like rolls all up over the table and like ruins everything, right?
Yeah, and there's like somebody comes in dressed like as the Joker or something.
that's right. That's right. What? Man,
And-
can we pull that one up?
And then there was
I
like
wanna pull
the
that one up.
Chisora, was it Chisora
Yeah.
White, where they started throwing chairs and tables at each other. Some of the
Okay.
some of the
Yeah.
press conference in the UKs get pretty
Yeah.
get
when
pretty
we did
crazy.
the best damn sports show period, do you remember that?
I
remember
We
that
used to do
show,
fights
yeah.
on that. James Toney one time like threw a glass at someone.
Oh,
and I thought
shit.
it was like pretty crazy.
Yeah.
At
Okay.
the time, but
All right.
then I just got used to him, so nothing he did was
So, like,
really
the
that
next
crazy.
So
time,
nothing
yeah.
surprises you anymore.
Yeah, no, you just see me in like the back of the camera as they're throwing glass, just like checking my phone. Casual day.
Steven has a couple bets for you, Sun High. He wants in on the 10 rounds to 2 on Caleb Plant, and then
Okay.
also that Mikey won't win. And he wants you to put some beat the count gear on the line, by the way.
Some beat the count gear on the
Yeah,
line.
that's what he wants to bet, not cash.
He'll give you a discount. Sean will give you a discount on it, bro.
A
Oh, so,
discount.
like, I have
I've
to,
never
like, pay
sold.
for
I've never
it,
sold
or,
a beat
like-
the count thing in my life.
Just
I
sell
I
it to
give
him.
it away for free.
All right. So then, what if I win? Then what does he have to do?
He's gonna treat you to
I don't know.
tacos de Mexico and Oxnard.
Tacos
There
de
you go.
Mexico and Oxnard.
It's the spot. I heard all about it. It's the spot.
All right. Here's the. Let's make a bet. Can we do
you
it?
Make what bet?
I'll bet him.
You,
Then bet him.
Bet
Caleb
him,
Plant
yeah,
is
on-
he's
on
gonna
there.
get 10 rounds to 2 on one card, at least one card.
10 rounds to 2 on one card. Stephen McCown.
And he gets a T-shirt, right? T-shirt if he wins. Right?
Okay,
T-shirt, that's
I'll
fair,
give him a
right?
T-shirt. That's fine.
Right.
I'll put up a T-shirt.
If he loses, I don't know, Brittany.
I don't know.
He's got to do something.
He's
right?
got to do something. You have to write us an extremely positive review, like the most insanely positive review that you can.
Very flattering.
Yeah, and like the most flattering review, including how good looking I am. No, I'm
CMG
just-
boxing. Talking about Mikey's footwork and timing is better than Spence. Spence ain't gonna have the ability to land the punches. Mikey's gonna move faster and let his hands go faster. Yeah, it's like I said. I mean, it's gonna be a good fight. Who knows? You know, who knows if that extra weight, that extra muscle is gonna slow Mikey down?
I don't know.
It's gonna make him stronger. What
I know.
you know? It's
I sort of want to go to that fight now. Like I really want to go to that fight, but it's like in Texas. But,
Yeah.
you know, it's all right.
go.
See that
that
scoreboard.
far.
It's not.
that
I
far.
know, but then you gotta get a car.
I'm getting my
and
tickets.
can't really
I'm getting
drink,
round
you
trip for
know.
like 190 right now.
know.
My plane tickets for like 190 round trip. I just booked 2 tickets. I booked my room less than $400 for 5 days, so I'm good.
Yeah, I know. It's not that. I mean, I know.
You can
I know.
do it, bro.
We're gonna do it.
It's
We're
gonna
do
be
it.
it's gonna be wild in Arlington.
Oh yeah. Are we gonna go like line dancing, or is that your thing? Do you do that?
I'm not
or-
line dancing. I'll lean like a cholo.
We got to do like something real Texas-y.
I did when we were doing a lot of Tuesday night fights in San Antonio, like back to back to back at
Yeah.
Cowboy Dance Hall.
Cowboy dance.
Cow- Cowboy
I didn't
dance hall.
partake in the line dancing, but I did watch it
Okay.
happen.
Okay. I don't know. I just want to do something like
It was
really
very Texasy.
Texas-y, and then like
Get some cowboy boots.
Is that a word? Texasy.
I don't
Texas-y.
know. Are we
Texas.
messing
So-
with Texas?
I
now?
don't
Is
think
that-
people in Texas would appreciate being called Texasy.
Texasy.
I don't know. Yeah, probably not, y'all.
Y'all.
Wow.
He said, y'all.
Man.
All right, question. So, with Golden Boy stepping up with DAZN, with ESPN Plus and Top Rank, do you guys have any visions of moving towards the streaming service? I know you guys are keeping it on broadcast television. You guys just signed that deal with Fox.
No, I don't know what the grand scheme of it is, but I think the Fox exposure is just, I mean, it's crazy that they could be household names so easily now. My random friends that don't watch boxing at all were very, very interested in the Charlo fight because of watching the face-off and the things leading up to it, even their GQ article. I mean, no, I don't know. I mean, you don't.
I think Brittany's sort of your friend Brittany is sort of a boxing fan, though, right?
She's become one, right? She has to.
I think so,
Yeah.
right?
She likes the crowd. She likes the.
Me too, though.
She likes the Mexican fights. Those
She
are
likes
her
the
favorites.
Mexican
yeah,
fights,
she likes
yeah.
them. Yeah, she likes that.
She likes the Mexican beer too, right?
Right. Yeah, that's
That's what it's all about.
If I didn't have to work the fights, that's why I would go to the fights.
Right.
Inspire Media is giving you a shout out. They said 10 Goose was the it gym back in the day, and all the great fighters were from Goose and Tudor Promotions back in the day.
Thank you.
I know.
So
I
next,
mean, it still is the gym. Floyd just worked out there recently. Justin Bieber works out there.
so
You got the in with the Beebs?
I don't.
He just shows up
Is
sometimes.
that I'm too old to actually. I don't think I can say the Beebs. Like
The
I
Biebs.
didn't even know that that's how you address him. Like
So as far as like television exposure for their fights, the fights next Sunday are going to be on after the playoff game. So
Right.
can you imagine how many millions of people are going to be watching that
Yeah.
New Orleans game?
yeah, that's true.
And then and you know that Fox is going to be promoting the hell out of that fight
Well, let's
go right from a playoff game, a divisional playoff game,
You took it on
to the
Sunday?
fights.
Yeah, let's
Yeah.
yeah, because like
That's huge.
let's talk about that because there was a point in time where pay-per-view or let's say HBO was considered main stage, right? So like you would get to HBO and that's main stage boxing.
Yeah.
And things that are on local broadcast TV, like Fox, for instance, are maybe thought of as a level down from that. Although you could say from a viewership standpoint, that's probably never been the case because of the amount of subscribers and viewers that you get on HBO compared to the amount of viewers that have access to Fox, for instance.
And
Is
just-
that not true?
Yeah, it just randomly, even you're at a bar, you're at a restaurant having dinner, and Fox is on, and you
Exactly.
you catch it, and you just, who's that? I want, it's really for the casual fan too, to bring people in. It's it's awesome. These guys are very lucky to be in this time of boxing.
You know, in the 60s and 70s, you had closed circuit. Okay. The 80s, you started getting, that was the birth of Showtime, the birth of HBO. You still had your fights on all your
TVKO.
you still had your fights on your HBO your Showtime, but then you still had, NBC, CBS, ABC showing fights, Then you started with Mike Tyson about 89, 90, you started getting into the pay-per-view. So we had about 4 decades of pay-per-view, and now it's coming into the streaming service with PBC being the only ones that are actually showing it on the network television. Even ESPN and Top Rank with 54 events that they've signed for the next so many years, only so many of them are on actual ESPN. So you have to buy it. So like she says, for the casual fans, for the people that aren't up to date, the older people that don't know how to work cell phones and don't know how to subscribe to DAZN and everything else, they can put their TV on Fox, lay back in the recliner after the damn football game and enjoy the fight. They're going to know these names,
The diehard fans are going to watch whatever
exactly.
what they have
Oh,
to
yeah.
do for it. But, just to catch that person who's maybe into boxing now fully. And
They would be if it was easily available.
it's easily
Exactly.
available.
Yeah,
It's on
exactly.
'Cause you
free TV.
Yeah, exactly.
The streaming it's just starting. It's in the infancy. And you still have people that they don't like change. Fuck that. I'm not going to order DAZN. I'm not going to order ESPN Plus. I don't like it.
no.
I don't like this. I don't like
There's
that.
a space for everyone in the sport right now, right?
Exactly. And they're doing their part. And, when they came across with that announcement with Fox and with Showtime, I mean, it's great,
Well, I just have one request, though, like, as a fan, I guess. As a Dodger fan,
Oh.
no Joe Buck, please, on the Fox fights.
No, what?
Joe Buck.
Oh, okay.
I don't know that I have any control of
Yeah.
that at
I was going
all.
to say, do you
No,
At
do you do the
all. See
hiring
what
for Fox?
I don't.
PBC usually they have Caleb's girlfriend,
Jordan, yeah.
Yeah, they
She's
have Jo-
F-
they have
she'll
Jordan,
be on the
Jo-
FS1.
Jordan Hardy,
Yeah.
and then they have forget his name, a black guy, tall, bald-headed black guy
Yeah.
that does some
Brian
announcing.
Custer.
Yeah.
And then they have the announcer that does
Ray Flores.
Ray Flores.
Ray
Ray
Flores.
Flores.
Ray
Oh,
Flores.
He
Ray
does
Flores.
he does
What's
ring
up?
announcing.
Sweet baby
Plus he
Ray.
does
Yeah.
plus
You
he
know,
does the fight announcing
The
as
first
well.
time I saw that, I thought that was like someone called in sick or something because Ray Flores was like getting up in the ring and announcing it, and then he would come back down and start doing
so
the
greedy.
commentary. I was like, whoa.
They had his brother,
They had Ray Flores doing
doing
both.
some ring announcing a few weeks back. I was
That's
watching
awesome. Yeah, I
a
know.
card in his little. I don't know if it's his older brother or younger
He's
brother, but he
Yeah.
had
His
his
younger
younger
brother.
brother. His younger brother in the ring doing some of the announcing before the main events. It was some on some of the undercards.
Because Ray's actually hosting for Showtime, the YouTube channel now too. So.
Yeah.
Good for him.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, every time I see Ray on TV, I'm like, oh, that's awesome.
Ray's
Yeah,
so
so I don't
funny.
think you'll get Joe
Yeah.
Buck, bro.
Huh?
I don't think you'll get Joe Buck.
Thank God.
Ray's been my. I prank him constantly.
Oh,
He's-
yeah?
How do you
that's-
prank him?
I torture him. Oh, I've done terrible things to Ray. Horrible.
Can you give an
You gotta give
example
us
of
a
one?
scoop here.
Let's
Like,
see.
You don't have to pick the worst one.
Let me just think about what. I mean, right before he went on air, I told him that Tug wanted to change his name, and Ray was like puzzled by it. And in this kid's locker room, I mean, I've charged. I didn't do that, but another guy we work with charged
a
a
friend.
few meals for about a year on Ray's room everywhere we traveled to.
yeah.
I'm talking like the buffet at MGM for like multiple people. He never noticed either. I finally told him about it, and he was
But
mad
not you. That was
happy.
just another guy you know.
I knew it was happening.
Okay.
Just, yeah, poor Ray's
Next time
gonna
I
be mad
see
at me
Ray,
now.
I'll be like,
Oh,
I'm going to charge
He
my buffet
knows.
on your
He
Oh,
knows.
really?
He'll
He
know.
knows
He
now?
He
Okay.
knows, yeah.
Okay.
He,
I'll-
yeah, he
I'll
looks
ask
at his
him
bills
about it.
now. He checks out. now.
Okay.
I'm gonna ask him about it.
Ask him about He'll just be like, yeah. I
That's
mean,
too
multiple.
funny.
I told the police in Minnesota that he was stealing.
Ooh,
Oh,
that's
man.
bad. Because like, there's not really that many Mexicans.
That's
in
what he said
Minnesota.
too. Yeah,
You're gonna
he
get his
didn't
ass
Yeah.
deported.
Yeah.
I mean, he was not happy about it.
What would you have done if like Ray's like on a plane to Mexico the
I
next
would have
day?
thought it was hilarious. No,
Oh my
he's
God.
fine. He can take it.
He can take it.
He's a big boy. Yeah,
It's been 3 years. The road gets lonely. You have to have someone to pick on.
Yeah.
exactly.
Ray is my someone.
So who does your guys' recruiting as far as like, we were talking about some of these amateurs, that are fighting right now, but as far as, TGB goes, who goes out and does like your talent scouting for you guys as far as who you decide to sign and whatnot?
A lot of it is actually my uncle.
Okay.
Who he sees in the gym, and that kind of thing. We have a couple other people who do it, but majority would be my Uncle Joe.
So he goes and visits like the
No,
gyms in the
it
area,
seems more
or
that
just a
people come to
competition.
him.
Oh, that
you
makes
know,
sense.
Or that kind of thing.
Yeah.
If he sees something that he thinks is worthy, then we go from
Okay.
there.
That
Yeah.
makes sense.
Nice.
I trust his judgment now too.
Speaking of the young amateurs, I have another list from Daniel to give shout outs to of members from the Nationals, so I'm going to do that right now while I still can.
Woo!
Kevin Gudino. We've got Mariah Bay from Arizona. Steven Navarro, California, 95 pounds. California native. Love it.
Little Mike Tyson, Steven Navarro.
Yeah.
All right.
Maria Martinez from Arizona, 100 pounds. Ezekiel Peleo, California, 100 pounds. Nathan Salinas. Magali Perez. I think I got them all, Daniel. Oh, nope, there's a few more. Ingrid Avila, Daniel Haro, and then Adrian Serrano, Rene Hernandez, Josue Valenzuela. That's it. I got them all. I got them, Daniel.
I was just waiting for one of those other names.
Couple
but
of those names ring a bell. I know the Haro brothers out of Fresno.
Yeah.
Those kids are they're something else, man. And I know Steven Navarro, his cousin's a fighter. Is the Navarro that fights for Golden Boy Thunder Navarro. I forget his first name, but a couple of names there that ring a bell for those amateurs. Good luck to you guys.
Definitely.
See how many of you guys make it to 2020 Japan if they have.
Yeah, that'd be rad.
If they have boxing in Japan in
If they
2020.
have boxing in Japan, which is not a given right now.
Nope.
That's true.
So
And yeah, we've had that topic on a few times as well. But
yeah, that's a whole different.
a whole nother discussion.
ABA's a whole different ball game there.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, before we wrap up, is there anything you have all the shows that we've talked about, but is there anything personal that we need to plug, like an Instagram, a Facebook, anything you want people to follow, find?
No.
No. Follow TGB. That's it.
Follow TGB. I don't think they have an Instagram.
She ain't trying to be your
I started
friend.
the Instagram. I locked my. I don't remember when I made the password, so I've not been able. That was a couple years ago. I don't even
For
know what
TGB?
email.
You
Yeah,
mean?
so
Yeah.
it's locked out. So the Twitter is what we use heavily.
So TGB on Twitter.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys can follow TGB Promotions
yeah.
on Twitter. Stacks, you want to plug anything?
Supreme Boxing. Follow us, Supreme Boxing. You can follow us online. Instagram, Twitter, Facebook.
Sunha?
So I went to Kazakhstan over the summer, so people should read my article about it.
Where can they find it?
Inside the Ropes, ITRboxing.com.
Awesome.
That was a great article, too. I really liked the part where you drank the goat's milk. Or
No, it was horse milk.
horse milk, whatever
Yeah.
milk you were drinking,
Well,
yeah.
you know,
Very
you guys,
close.
when in Rome, right?
Right?
When in Kazakhstan.
Not for me, but okay. And I'll just stick with the regular milk, I think.
Dude, I'll
I think
beat
I'm
your
gonna
ass
try.
in Fear Factor any day.
You would light me up in Fear Factor.
Oh, yeah.
Undoubtedly. Unless they're
yes.
handing out cheeseburgers on that day or whatever. Fear Factor is not for me. I'll give it up. Definitely no bets in that respect. And then for me, of course, please follow Beat the Count on Instagram, at Beat the Count on Facebook, at Beat the Count. If you're on here, you're already on YouTube, but you can check out all our past videos. And I am off next week. I'm traveling, actually, so I'll be in Chicago, but I'm back the following week on the 20th, where
I'll be at the fights.
was that? You'll be at
I'll be at Caleb's fight. So you
Yeah,
guys
of
make sure
course.
to tune in. It's going to be on Fox after the New Orleans game.
Yeah, that's right.
So watch the NFL playoffs. Leave your TV on. Watch the fights on Fox. It's going to be a hell of a fight between Jose Uzcategui.
It's getting better. It's getting better.
It's really not, though.
No.
It still sounds
between
exactly
him
the
and
same.
between him and Caleb Plant, man. And then you got the
Between
undercard.
him and Caleb Plant.
You got the undercard with Brandon Figueroa.
Yeah, we got a few bets going on here.
So-
Don't forget, we've got them documented. We got a few bets on
118, 110.
on one card only, though.
Yeah. No.
118, 110 on one card.
Yeah, so good fights, man. That's where I'll be at. And then on the 20th,
On
we
the
have
20th, yes.
Aaron Tuffhill.
That's right. We'll be here with Aaron Tuffhill on the 20th, who is preparing for an upcoming bout on the 27th at the Hollywood Avalon here in Los Angeles against Maricela Carnejo. So
Ooh. Yeah,
Good luck. Good
man. Good luck to both fighters.
Yeah.
I know Marty personally. I've seen some video on Tuffhill, ex-American Gladiator.
yeah.
She was still on American Gladiator.
Yeah, she was
An
also
MMA star.
She was an MMA star. She was a boxer. She had a fight against Layla Ali. You could find that, for instance, on YouTube.
Yeah, Marty.
And she is coming out of a layoff here to compete against Maricela on the 27th. So I very much look forward to
Marty's
seeing.
coming off of a loss. She lost the championship fight to Franchon Cruz in Vegas the night before Canelo Triple G. So it's a comeback fight for her, and it's a tough comeback fight. So
Definitely.
good luck to both fighters.
So tune in on the 20th for that. And that's it for today. I appreciate you guys. If you need anything, hit me up on Instagram, Facebook. Peace.
See you guys.
Thank you.